What is going on, everybody? It is episode 730 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis actors. It's Mary. We are back from the weekend, and it's a beautiful day outside.
Oh, yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, yesterday and today.
So we're holed up in the studio to talk about pop culture, of course.
Yeah, of course. Well, see, the thing is...
This is what we do. We're back on the grind.
And this is the worst part of it, too, because... it is at a time of year where then the temperature will fluctuate enough where by the time we we leave tonight,
exactly,
it won't be quite as nice out.
Arctic tundra.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but it definitely wouldn't be.
I'm dramatic. So.
Luckily, I got to skate in a t-shirt, all in a tank top on one of those days, and it was really nice out yesterday and the day before.
Yeah.
We got two before we get started, guys.
Yeah,
we got one from Nate and one from Jose Quintana.
Need to read this generous super chat from Nate. I missed 728 with Phil. So I watched it over the weekend. With exception of the ever impeccable Brett, there were some straight up doozy takes. Sabrina Carpenter bigger than Taylor Swift? Are you insane? That's like Harry Styles to MJ.
I think, okay, so here's the thing. Let me preface. When we say things on this show, it's gone. Just
so
instantly.
We don't really truthfully even know what you're talking about.
I think what the point of that conversation was, if I remember correctly, and I could be completely misremembering, was saying that she has all of the tools and the push right now to one day perhaps maybe sort of kind of possibly be bigger than Taylor Swift if she garnered enough audience support and had enough of the system behind her. She could go on to bigger things one day. It certainly feels in a way as if the media is trying to anoint her as Taylor Swift's sluttier replacement.
Yeah, exactly. She is on the conveyor belt, seems to be on the trajectory to becoming the next sort of Taylor Swift, even though Sabrina Carpenter is, 25 years old?
25.
She's a former Disney kid, and she is just not nearly as famous or successful as Taylor Swift was at the same age.
Taylor Swift started younger on
Way
her
younger.
own. Well, no, because if one was a Disney kid, she started even younger than her, but through the machine.
Right, exactly. Taylor Swift debuted her own stuff at like 16. So
miss those country albums.
Yeah, she got a late start. I mean, Sabrina Carpenter is like laughing because she got nominated for Best New Artist, I think.
And she's like,
I've made like 8 albums, but nobody cared about me until this year.
She's like, because you know what they already make those like this artist through the ages montages of her. Like, you can't be Best New Artist and have a this artist through the ages montage.
Yeah, it's a little insulting. We have another 20.
But thank you for that, Nate. Thank you,
Jose Quintana. Good morning, Ghost Empress and Optical Overlord. Red One, a completely fun movie with a smart twist on Santa Claus and Krampus. We Live in Time, another solid drama with Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield. Long live PCC.
Look, here's the thing. So, I understand the dislike of the slop, and I think this weekend I may go see it anyways. Especially if it's colder, it'll seem like more of a time to go see Red One. But people complain all the time that we get nothing original ever. And, you know, here is this movie that certainly looks like slop, but seems to be at least a little bit different than everything else that's coming. It's certainly not a superhero movie. It's not recycled IP. I'm going to wait and hold my opinion on it.
Santa Claus is definitely recycled IP.
But it's not the traditional story. It's not just Santa going house to house. I am going to watch The Santa Claus with Tim Allen soon, though. This week, probably.
I think that it's just as much slop as all the other slop, as is We Live in Time.
Also, I'm sick of hearing about how Chris Evans is picking poor projects compared to Sebastian Stan. I don't care about either of them.
I saw someone tweet, like, there's no reason Oppenheimer should cost $100 million and Red One should cost $250 million.
That is true. Okay, so
insane.
The Rock was ripe for criticism and jokes when he said that the inspiration to make Red One was that he saw Oppenheimer in IMAX. It's like,
bro is delusional.
Maybe pick a less lofty, maybe if he had said, like, I saw Barbie in IMAX and I wanted to make Red One, at least then they look about the same.
Maybe actually the failure of Red One at the box office is going to be what finally shatters The Rock's ego, and he'll go through an ego death and reinvent his career after that.
But here's the thing. It's got a 90 audience score, so the people who are at least taking the time to go see it are enjoying it.
Fair enough. We have another 20 from Dubby Nanners. Brett, AEW is having the Costco guys on the Full Gear pre-show wrestling QT Marshall. I just watched QT drop a diss track. I need to know, is this match going to be a boom or doom?
Look, so I have actually, I mentioned it last week, I've been listening to more of the wrestling podcasts again, and I listened to, on my way in today, I was listening to the Wrestling Soup guys break down CM Punk's interview with Ariel Helwani. And most of it just kind of comes back to dunking on AEW and the problems that AEW seems to have with not being able to draw enough audience. I'm not an expert on the subject matter anymore, but if it involves the Costco guys, I'll give it a boom just because I can. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Okay.
All right. So what are we talking about today? We got a bunch of stuff to get into today. Number one being the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, which was on Friday night on Netflix, did absolutely gangbusters as far as viewership. In fact, it had buffering problems the whole time, which, by the way, I made a joke about how the announcer for the bout should have been Michael Buffer, and nobody got it, which means that I am just wasted on you people.
Seriously. No one appreciates
Nobody
you.
appreciates me. Anyways, we're going to get into it because a lot of people are supposing that it's possible that given Tyson's performance that maybe the fight was fixed. I don't actually believe that, but we're going to talk about it because there's a lot of stuff there. We're also going to talk about Ariana Grande, who does not look healthy, and it is fair to preface these types of discussions because people had the same talks about Chadwick Boseman leading up to the announcement that he was sick before his passing. So we're going to try to approach that topic with tact, but it is something to discuss. We're also going to talk about the live action How to Train Your Dragon choosing to race swap characters. It's as boring of a discussion as whether straight actors can play gay characters. I couldn't care less. Mary might have to lead that one. I might actually take a nap when we're talking about it, but I've got some thoughts about other aspects.
Go in the corner.
I might do that. So if you're ready, we got one more 20.
Is that from Jose Quintana? Yep. Empress, you have thrown my review under Santa's sleigh. Are you against Santa's lore? No, not on a Monday, Mary. It's early in the week. I'm already shutting it down.
Did you see the Coca-Cola commercial made with AI?
No, I didn't, but I saw you sent it to me.
Yeah, so there
earlier.
was they made this year's Coca-Cola commercial was made with AI, and then people were arguing about, because my point was still a better movie than the Polar Express, which Mary would take offense to.
I do.
Fair enough. But then there was stuff that came out about how there was also a lot of real living, breathing artists who had to work on it because they had to rotoscope the Coke logos to make sure they didn't move off center. All the eyes still look dead, but it's interesting. So, she's not. I don't think Mary has a problem with Santa's lore. She just thinks that the movie looked like slop.
Yeah,
or do you have a problem with Santa's lore?
Do I have a problem with Santa's
never know.
lore? No. I think that it comes back to the debate about whether you should tell your kids that Santa is real.
Don't do it. Let them have some joy in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously like a heated debate nowadays, whereas in decades prior, nobody even thought about it. No one gave it a second thought. Everyone was taught about Santa growing up. Now, people think it's unethical and you're lying. And
those people are stupid.
They think it saps the real meaning of Christmas. And
those people are lame.
I
shame them.
Kind of
Make
agree.
fun of them.
I kind of agree because personally, I never believed in Santa as a child. I
100% believe that.
Never believed it, but I thought it was it's fun. Like we're all pretending, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So no problems inherently with Santa's lore here. I just think that the movie looked really stupid.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get a bunch of stuff to get into. Let's get started. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. All right. First things first, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Rosanna Pansino, or as I like to call her, Mr. Beast's #1 hater.
Exactly. In the pilot episode of Rosanna Pansino's new podcast, Rodiculous, she did something very ridiculous. In honor of her late father's passing, she decided to smoke a joint that was made with her father's ashes. And I found this incredibly bizarre really disturbing, and I think we should all know less about each other after this. This says in her tweet, "We lost my dad about 5 years ago to leukemia. He was the best. His dying wish was to be grown into a cannabis plant and be smoked. So that's what I did. The first episode of my new podcast, Ridiculous, is dedicated to him. Link to the full episode. Love and miss you every day, Papa Pizza." I guess that's what they would call him, Papa Pizza. Yep. Here, let's look at the video where she puffs the smoke of her father's ashes for the first time.
Here we go.
Be honest with you guys, I talked to my YouTube rep and they actually advised me not to do this episode. I'm sure it will get age restricted, demonetized, and probably suppressed in the algorithm, but I do not care. My dad was a badass and quite a little rebel, and I will be following in his footsteps. Like father, like daughter. So to start this episode, I want to tell you guys about my dad's dying wish. Before he passed, he told me and my mom what he would like us to do with his ashes. And at first my mom was a little bit hesitant because she thought this is kind of hippie, people are going to judge us. But as time's gone on, and it's been 5 years now, we just really think that it's the right time to do what Dad wanted and to honor him the way he wanted. So years ago, he told me and my mom that he would like us to take his ashes, mix it in with some soil, and grow a marijuana plant and smoke him. And I told you he was a rebel, and I actually have footage of us doing this together. It was very emotional and special, and I'm glad that we got to have these memories, like honoring Dad together. I even got to work with a local licensed grower here in California. His name's Ninja, and he was absolutely amazing. I learned so much from him. He's very knowledgeable, not just about cannabis plants, but plants in general. And I just can't thank him enough for helping me honor my dad's wishes. Anyways, back to it. We just recently harvested the cannabis plant and we made joints. I have this cute little carrying case, and a friend of mine helped me roll these. And not only are they adorable, but they are rolled with pink rolling paper. So
on brand.
They even match the set. I mean,
Aesthetic matters, Mary.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rolling papers. Well, we didn't see the
Papa
moment.
Pizza could see this, you guys.
Do we really
he
need
would
to see
just.
it? I don't think it matters.
It
would get a
matters.
huge kick out of this. So at the end of this podcast episode, I'm going to be fulfilling my dad's wish and honoring him, and I'm really looking forward to it. This podcast represents a new era for me, and I just cannot wait to go down this journey with you all.
Okay.
Yeah, so in that episode of her podcast, she first welcomes a guest who is a self-proclaimed grief expert, which just means he's written a bunch of books about grief and grief counseling and stuff like that.
I do love all of the weird things you can be considered an expert on if you end up on TV now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sex experts, if you will. So this is the way that she decided to honor her father's legacy and his request. They, as you could see in that video, mixed his ashes into pots of soil and grew marijuana out of it, and then her sister, and her mom smoked joints with that. And I think that's it's distasteful. And it's actually, in my mind, it's like a step away from cannibalism.
You think it's like proto-cannibalism?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Because you're consuming human remains. Like, that's basically a step away from cannibalism. And not only that. Oh, was this from?
That stands tastic.
Let me see. Immediately reminds me the South Park episode that they drank Kenny's ashes thinking it was chocolate milk mix. Side note, we getting to the time of year to watch Jingle All the Way. Got room still. Praise be to Space King.
Also, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't this the plot of How High?
I've never seen that, so I don't know.
It's been a long time. Anyways, I've known many a weed head in my life. They're into weird shit. This didn't.
Do you want to put anyone on blast?
No,
right now?
I don't. And this didn't shock me at all. It doesn't. Is it weird to me? Sure, but whatever.
I think the
Whatever.
even worse part is that she is posing in all of these Instagram photos kind of suggestively with the joint. Do you have the Instagram post that she had up?
I thought I did at one point. Yeah, I do here. Sorry, it was in the wrong folder. Yep, here it is.
Scroll to the
I'm telling
right.
you, it looks like somebody tried to make Bobby Altoff and Katy Perry the same person.
You're not looking at the worst of it,
No,
though. That's the worst. Okay, keep going. There's more. Like, she's posing with her ass out, holding a joint that contains her father's remains.
Yeah.
I think that's really inappropriate and weird. Do you not? Am I the crazy one?
I guess I'm just not shocked, nor do I care about this. To each their own. It's weird, but not really all that much to me.
So you agree?
I'm
not out of my mind for thinking that this is weird.
I don't think you're out of your mind, but it's just whatever. But this is my take on life, as you know, which makes this job so difficult for me. Is I see people do weird shit, and I go, whatever.
I wouldn't exactly say that it shocks me because nothing that influencers do shocks me anymore. They do anything for attention.
It's very hard to find something for me that I don't just scroll by on social media and go weird, and then just keep scrolling. That's what this was to me. I said, huh, okay. Also, a big part of it is everything is for content now. So the real question is, would they do it without turning it into social media content or something for her live stream or something for her show or her podcast?
I doubt it.
Right?
And I doubt that her making a podcast about smoking these ash joints was part of his request at the time. I think you should actually disrespect the wishes of the dead if their wishes are bad. Fully, I'm going to just say that. If a loved one or family member, friend of mine wished to, I don't know, have me sprinkle their ashes in the Sahara Desert, something random like that, I wouldn't do it.
Jono in the chat says it doesn't contain her father. The ashes would have no nutrients in them that the plant would have taken. It was just grown in her father's ashes. That's all. So it's kind of more symbolic in nature than anything else.
That's not exactly the point, because at multiple parts of this video where she's smoking it, she is joking about the fact that she is smoking her dad and that she is breathing in particles of his body. She believes it to be the case. I'm not necessarily saying that's actually what's happening. I also saw people were praising her for this. They thought it was really cool. One person said she's living her best life. I wasn't familiar with your game. Dream blunt rotation.
Yeah, I don't judge. I just don't care.
She's a girl boss for that. I don't care.
The cooler thing was when Deadpool broke up all of Wolverine's adamantium bones and then killed a bunch of TVA agents with them. That's the way cooler thing to do here. We
have a 20 from Weary Traveler. It's definitely crazy, but with so much craziness in the world, it's hard not to become completely numb to it all. I mean, I understand that.
That's kind of me in a nutshell for most of this. Mary could probably attest. Very rarely do any of these stories really grab me in a way where I have a strong reaction to the movie stuff. Bothers me more than the stories of people doing stupid things.
Yeah,
because I'm you're a company worth $1 trillion and you can't do this right? How is that possible? You're Netflix, you're worth $1 gazillion, you're the only streaming platform, yet you can't put on your whole show without it buffering and causing problems. That upsets me more than stuff like this. This is just people be weird.
She also kept the seeds that came from the marijuana plant, so she's going to continue regrowing them in his honor for a long while.
Look,
you know what? I'm like Mike Tyson right now. Who gives an F about your legacy?
Your legacy.
I want people to think about me this way when I die. I want people to smoke a joint with my ashes in it when I die. Who the F cares about you when you're gone? No one.
I wonder if she's still on the prowl against Mr. Beast. That's my question. Is she?
Yeah. Whatever happened to that?
Has she uncovered anything new about Mr. Beast yet?
I think she's just vibing. She's one of the most marketable influencers too, so it's surprising to see her do shit like this.
So for you, burial or cremation?
What, me?
Yeah, you.
Like personally, what
Yeah.
am I gonna do?
Yeah, I was just curious.
I mean, burial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to get embalmed either because I find that super disturbing. But obviously I'm Catholic as well, so I don't believe that it's morally acceptable to spread your remains in ashes over the ocean or whatever. Like, we're forbidden from doing that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I would be forbidden from doing that to my own family members' remains too.
Okay. Even if they requested it?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
just wouldn't do it?
Yeah. I mean, I would actually ignore their request and do what I wanted to do with their remains anyway. What about you, though? What are your plans?
I'm going to go the Walt Disney route.
Freezing
my head
below the PCC studio.
Yeah.
And I'll keep doing the show
when
while
the
you're...
technology finally comes about where they can bring me back to life and I can be reinstantiated, we'll do that.
We'll put your frozen head in a bucket of Orbeez underneath the PCC studio.
That's perfect.
While I keep making videos.
That's or if it was ashes, you could put me in a bunch of Mountain Dew bottles and then put me underneath the studio.
Amazing.
That'd be awesome. Look, if I'm being honest, none of what she did with the ashes was weird to me. The pictures were weird to me.
So you don't think it was weird to do it?
I just not weird outside the realm of just this is completely normal in today's day and age and it doesn't shock me.
Normal in today's day and age is different than
and also not something
objectively normal.
Not something I would do, but also there's a million things I wouldn't do. So who am I to say?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I am someone to say.
I know
I always am someone to say every
single
single time. So that's what makes us different.
All right. Let's move on. We got a bunch of other stuff to get into.
Yeah.
I've got good news for each and every one of you out there. If you are in the process of looking for love right now and you're not having any luck, well, Tuah girl is here to help.
Yes, Haley Welch, the Tuah girl, just launched an AI-powered dating app for all of her Gen Z fans, and it's named after her boyfriend's pet name, Pookie. It's called Pookie Tools, and it's supposed to give you dating advice because Gen Z can't figure out how to interact anymore, so they need AI to tell them how to have a conversation.
I did laugh because I tried to listen to one episode of her podcast, and Pookie got mentioned quite a bit in just the 15 minutes that I listened to.
She loves Pookie. Actually, recently, she did a face reveal of Pookie, and actually launching this dating app is her way of celebrating her love for Pookie.
Yep.
So they call it your ultimate dating sidekick. Pookie Tools features your personal dating assistant, a height detector, a bald detector, text responses, and zodiac compatibility.
Look, here's the thing, guys. If you're short, don't try to hide it. There's a reason why I joke about my height all the time. The more comfortable you are with your height, the better off you are. There's a reason why
is key.
there's two ways you can go in this realm. You can go the short and funny route, which helps a lot because funny is often tied right to your sense of confidence, right? To be confident in your sense of humor and to be confident in your ability to make others laugh, even if you're insecure. You know, they say fake it till you make it, but then there's short and angry, and short and angry doesn't help anyone. Just look at anybody who's been arrested by a short cop. It's not good for you. Don't hide it, embrace it, and it will work out for the best. The moment you try to hide it, you can't even blame her. You know, it's like a girl who takes a photo from the shoulders up here, and then you find out that she's a land whale. You know, you have a right to be angry in that situation.
Yeah. I am of the opinion that these dating apps, if they make men state their height, they should also make women state their weight.
Yes.
100%.
Well, there was this meme. There was like this TikTok from several years ago where the girls put like a ruler next to the door to measure Tinder guys' heights, and then a guy just picks up a scale and drops it in front of a door.
I will just say, a reminder to the ladies, your waist measurement in inches should probably start with a 2, not a 3. Just going to throw that out there. But here's the description of Pookie Tools. Gen Z's relationship guru, Haley Welch, launches Pookie Tools, all her newest cheat codes for a smarter, more enjoyable dating experience. Designed to help at every step of your relationship, Pookie's AI tools assist you in making connections, enhancing profiles, and planning dates confidently. So they have a conversation assistant. You get personalized suggestions to help keep conversations engaging and authentic. A height estimator.
How can it be authentic if you're looking for digital help?
If you're having a robot write your messages for you, that sounds pretty inauthentic. The height estimator, upload a photo to get an approximate height estimate while respecting user privacy. Dubious. Quick text suggestions, receive ideas for replies that make responding easier and more thoughtful.
See, I think that there's an inherent flaw with this. When it works in the real world, now I never did online dating, so I can't really speak to that. But when you connect with someone honestly and in a very, very real sense, there's a bit of a high that you get from knowing that your authentic self is connecting with another person's, hopefully, authentic self, which propels the possibility of a relationship forward. And what I worry is that if you're implementing all of these tools and you're literally Batman taking stuff off of your belt to manufacture some type of connection, that you're never actually going to get that feeling, which means you're never going to actually get that cathartic experience of meeting someone and genuinely connecting with them.
Yeah,
it limps along a facsimile of what an actual connection is, and then there's nothing there.
Yeah, but it makes perfect sense to me why a product like this would exist for Gen Z. Why is there seen a demand for this?
Yes.
They don't know how to interact. I mean, we make jokes about how they get nervous asking for extra ketchup in the drive-thru. For a reason. They can't call and order a pizza. We know this about Gen Z. They can't introduce themselves. I meet countless people these days who don't even really know how to shake your hand and tell you their name.
Yeah.
And this is particularly a problem for Gen Z. So I guess they're trying to prop up Haley Welch, the Hawk Tuah girl who gave us very sophisticated tips on fellatio, as the Gen Z dating guru. And this is what she came up with. It also gives you astrological match insights, outfit recommendations. It creates outfit ideas perfect for any dating occasion. It gives you date ideas. So you get suggestions for first dates, or whether it's your first or 10th date.
Yeah.
The app will just come up with a plan for you, which totally takes the effort out of you being interested in this person and trying to find out what they like. Profile enhancement tips with AI-powered suggestions for better appeal, and engaging openers. Discover conversation starters designed to help you break the ice. Pookie Tools makes dating simpler and more enjoyable, empowering you to navigate every interaction with ease and confidence. Download to step up your dating experience with AI-powered assistance. So you have to subscribe to the paid system in this app. You either pay $7 a month or $50 annually. This is the grift.
Yeah. I mean, maybe deep down she thinks like she should be like, oh, look, I was struggling with Pookie, and then suddenly I got a beta version of this app and it really went into overdrive, and now we're Instagram official, and all thanks to my app.
Didn't she say that she was in a situationship with Pookie for a long time?
That sounds familiar. Like I think we talked about it off air.
This is now the new normal. It's just you do everything that a dating couple or even a married couple would do, but you don't slap a label on it because that avoids commitment. It sounds like she was in a similar situation. But she told this online magazine her inspiration for Pookie Tools. Quote, I was on Bill Maher's podcast, and it was actually one of his ideas he gave me.
Oh, yeah, he did. I forgot about that. He did do that.
This was
I forgot. I saw that.
Inspiration. He kind of pushed me in a way, saying I should be a relationship coach. And so we came up with the idea. This app is the easiest way for them to find their forever Pookie.
I mean, is there a... I got a question for you. So usually in these situations... they're going to say, don't listen to people who aren't married for tips about marriage. Valid. Makes perfect sense. Don't take advice about having kids from people who haven't yet had kids. Valid. Makes sense. Judge it what you will. They'll also say, who's going to take advice from a 21-year-old about relationships? But I don't know. What do you think?
that she's, I mean, obviously this is just one of the many ways that she's monetizing her online fame. I don't think she had any creative
No, not at all.
input into this decision whatsoever, and a lot of people are going to be getting their cut of the profits, not just her. So I really don't think that this was even slightly her idea.
What I love about it is she has become the blueprint for how to monetize, grow, and build off of a singular moment on the internet, which is fantastic for her, horrible for all the have-nots who are going to want to achieve something like this and will likely never, capitalize in the same way that she did.
And who knows what the timing or the algorithmic magic was that propelled her to this point, but she is using it to the most.
Yeah.
And I credit her for that. Like, it's smart business, but the idea itself is just so cheap, and it just cheapens human connection even more than dating apps already have, to then involve robots actually writing your messages for you. Mm-hmm. Like, is there any part of this that can be human anymore?
Luckily, I'm too dumb to ever want to or know how to employ something like that. The best I've got is I've had to make do with my meager social skills on my own, and that's fine.
Meager riz?
Yes,
maybe?
my mediocre riz is more than enough.
Well, there are these prompts on Hinge or whatever that are like, together we could ... And so many people say the exact same thing in that prompt. They say, together we could come up with a fake story of how we met. And what they're saying is, it's embarrassing to say that we met on Hinge.
Yeah. I mean,
and if everyone like mutually feels like they're embarrassed that they're even on these dating apps, maybe it's time to just retire it.
No, if everyone's embarrassed, then no one should be embarrassed. So maybe guys should take a cue from everyone else rather than being so self-absorbed. Be like, look, if everybody else is embarrassed, why are you embarrassed? Somebody's going to have to take that leap.
Maybe they're right to be embarrassed. I don't know.
Somebody's going to have to take that leap forward and be like, look, everybody else can pretend like we're not meeting on these places, but we are. So either you can retire the whole system, which is not likely and is never going to happen. We're going to get farther apart from each other in the real world, not closer, not as long as technology is around. You're going to have to advance it on your own. They're going to have to have a little bit more self-confidence.
I'm sure there are people watching right now who have met like long-term relationships or spouses through these dating apps, and I'm not trying to discredit that at all. It works for a lot of people, but for most of the people using those apps, I suspect it's for validation.
All right, let's move on. We got more to get into. There's the Donald Trump dance. It is taking sports by storm. Is it a huge cultural shift?
Is it a vibe shift? Yeah. You guys see me doing the Trump dance on the show every single day, and now the viral Trump dance is taking over the NFL and sports in general, and it's basically become a trend where every time they make a touchdown, they're going to be doing the Trump dance, and it's not seen as political anymore.
Yeah, that's what I think is the... Hold on here. That's what I think is the biggest difference here. So what they're comparing it to... And I guess on its outset, it's fair to at least make a tangential comparison, is to Colin Kaepernick taking a knee back in 2019 or whatever it was. And they're saying, like, look, when that happened, everybody complained about it being political. And now people are doing Trump dances, and suddenly the people who said keep politics out of sports aren't complaining. My point is that one is fun and the other one is not. And I think it's really that simple. Joy.
Actually, they're injecting joy into the arena.
There was
sports.
A quote. So what was it? It was Brock, or it was Nick Bosa says, all the guys wanted me to do it. It's fun. He says, I wasn't going to do the dance. All the guys wanted me to do it. It's fun. And that's the difference. Like, when somebody takes the knee in regards to social justice, in regards to police reform, and trust me, you're not going to hear me say that we don't need some type of police reform. I think there's plenty of examples in this country of bad policing. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's kind of akin to when we were talking about the actress who just decides to drop the feminist statement in the middle of the interview with all the bros the other day. How do you pronounce her name?
Saoirse Ronan.
She makes the feminist statement that has completely nothing to do with the vibe of the discussion that was being had at the time, meaning know a time and place. And they've rejected the idea of no politics in sports largely to begin with when it says end racism in the end zone of the NFL. So if they're going to have the killjoy version of politics in the NFL, I say why not also have the fun dancing version of politics in the NFL?
Yeah, so they're all doing the YMCA dance. It started with the 49ers' Nick Boas last week, who celebrated sacking the Dolphins quarterback by performing the Trump dance, and now others have joined in. Also, everyone saw this video of Brock Bowers from the Raiders doing a little Trump dance after a touchdown in Miami, and he actually got interrogated about this after the fact. Here in this interview, he said, "I've seen everyone do it. I watched the UFC last night and John Jones did it. I like watching UFC, so I saw it and I thought it was cool."
Also, people are kind of ignoring the fact that the big issue they had was it was being done during the national anthem.
Colin
Kaepernick.
You mean the
when
kneeling.
Colin Kaepernick
Of course,
started
yes.
taking a knee, it was the disrespect that they felt was being shown towards,
Yeah, I mean, if they were doing the Trump dance during the national anthem, I think I would have a problem with that too.
Yeah.
Not that it would be making the same statement, of course, but that's not the time or place.
Chat, somebody remind me, was it Michael Strahan that they were mad at recently because when everybody was putting their hands over their heart during the national anthem, he had his hands, he just had his hands clasped in front of him, and he said he wasn't making a political statement, and I don't think he was.
He probably wasn't thinking at all.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that's the thing. People are trigger happy to be angry about something there. So.
Yeah. Well, after this interview with Brock Bowers, it turns out they decided to revoke his media availability immediately after. They say the Raiders ended Bowers' media availability after his answer about the Trump dance, and there is no sign of the video anywhere. It's not on the Raiders' website. It's not on the YouTube page.
Censored.
And the transcript of the interview doesn't include the question or the answer. Why would that question and answer prompt the Raiders to pull the plug on press? Were the Raiders afraid that Bowers would be asked whether he is a Trump supporter? Were they afraid about whatever his answer would be?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. They are afraid, even though there is reportedly a vibe shift going on.
Here's a video.
The culture.
I love this video, which has like 4 separate examples all together. We can't play the music.
Yeah, do they have the John Jones?
Yep, in the corner.
Video
John
in the corner
Jones was
there.
the best. John Jones' dance was absolutely the best.
He kind of added his own flair to
He did,
it.
and then he went and he gave the belt to Trump, which was hilarious.
Yeah, Trump was right there in the front row.
Love it.
God Saad said, "This captures a shift in the zeitgeist. It's cool to not openly show support for Trump, for common sense, for reality. The left had complete stronghold on all institutions that shape culture. It will take a generation to eradicate the parasitic ideas and suicidal empathy, but this is a good first step."
Yep.
Do you agree?
What I think
is it as monumental as they think?
I think that it indicates a shift in the culture because 8 years ago you wouldn't have been allowed to positively even meme Trump in the mainstream. You would have had to be it would have to be a dirty little secret in the locker room. Like back in the day, don't ask, don't tell. That's basically what it was to be a Trump supporter if you played for a sports team back then. And now, the best thing you could do is to have these things show up in the general cultural zeitgeist, not through politics, right? So you shift the culture by moving things away from the political realm and making it acceptable to dance and have fun in regards to Donald Trump rather than speak about him in purely political senses. Because one of the things that I have an issue with most of the time is when, and I'll pull it back to politics a little bit here, let me go back to that there, is when they talk about him like he's Hitler, and then they're like, and when we met with him at the White House, which doesn't make any sense at all, the politicians talk about him like he's the second coming of Satan, but then talk about having to work with him. That doesn't make any sense. And the best way that you can prove that doesn't make any sense is by allowing it to, allowing athletes to prove that he's not Satan. He's just somebody that you can make a joke with.
You're not even going to do the Trump dance now.
No.
What's your problem? You don't want to be a part of the vibe shift?
I don't do the Trump.
You don't want to be a part of the zeitgeist?
I'm a rebel, okay?
Okay.
I'll
I
take
mean,
it. I'll
do you
take a knee
remember-
next time we do this. I'll take a knee.
Like after Trump announced his first run in 2015, they had him guest on SNL. And do you
But he
remember
hadn't started tweeting yet.
they had him dancing to Hotline Bling
I don't think
at
that
the time, and then when they realized that he actually was a viable candidate after that SNL appearance is when they shifted their language and they weren't willing to include him in on the joke anymore.
I remember when there was so somebody did like a timeline of like when the media turned on him, and it was after he started kind of putting his Twitter talents to use against candidates
but
that
he was
they started.
always tweeting the same style.
That it was. I don't remember if it was
years.
about candidates, but I think it was when he started giving them nicknames. They're like, "Oh, he's playing dirty." I think that was kind of when the media started making their shift away from treating him, as some type of not fake candidate, but soft candidate who couldn't win, to somebody who was viable, because the public support started to rally around him when he started giving them all nicknames.
Here were a couple of the responses from those seething turbo libs that you were talking about. One said, they were screaming for 8 years to keep politics out of sports, but they win one popular vote, and all of a sudden you can't turn on a football game without running into a Trump reference head first. Another one said, so the new rule is that athletes who support Trump don't have to answer any questions about their political beliefs, but when other athletes support political and social causes, they do. Got it. Just trying to figure out where the goalposts are moving next.
Well, actually, make fun of Jameel Hill all you want, but great use of goalposts in a tweet about football.
Fair.
The difference is the journalists that would ask the Colin Kaepernick type athletes questions would want those answers because they largely, in fact, agree with him.
Yeah, those were softball questions
Yes.
that the answers to which make him look good.
And Apollo is right. They still have stop hate in the end zone. So you can't escape it.
Why
One
day we are going to stop hate.
Why not add some joy?
We're going to stop hate.
I actually have
We're going to end racism. Did you know that? Like,
I
that's
have,
something that we can actually accomplish. We can just end racism.
We could do a whole thing about the creepy vibes I get from the toxic positivity crowd. So when you go through town, through Charlestown, West Virginia, every street on the main thoroughfare is a business-sponsored sign about being kind to other people. And it's the creepiest shit I have ever seen in my entire life. One of them is like, it's from a pest control company. It says, spread love, exterminate hate. And I'm like,
That's a little scary.
it's creepy. And it's like, there is a focus on toxic positivity that just creeps me out.
Well, if you believe that someone like Trump can be hate personified and you want to exterminate hate, where does that leave us? Yeah.
So, guys, embrace it. It's a cultural shift right now, and I think it's good because it does kind of signal in a lot of ways you're not forced to hate America anymore. You're allowed to be okay with America again, at least in the mainstream. You're always allowed to before, but now you don't have to pretend like you hate America just to keep your job, or if you're an NFL player and you score a touchdown. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with getting away from publicly lashing ourselves and having to pretend like we're the worst thing that ever happened to the world, because we are not.
Good take.
All right, let's move on. What do we got? Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's see cute first.
Cute first? All right.
I'm in the mood to see some
of
cute.
the day. Here we go, guys. Let me get rid of... Sorry, Pookie. You have to go now. Sorry, Trump Dance. You got to go
Bye,
now.
Pookie.
All right. Here we go. This one's from Big Dave. He says, cute of the day outside of the norm, so treat it as you will, Brett. Today we celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary.
Aw.
Added a pic of Frankie for the pet qualification.
Well,
Excellent.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
That's a big
awesome.
deal.
Here we go. Let's check one more. And there is Frankie.
Cute.
Frankie's
Certified
adorable.
cute.
All right, let's do one more here. This one's from Kilroy.
Aw.
It says, rescued this kitten from the streets of Detroit this morning. Well, Lizzo would say there's nothing wrong with the streets of Detroit.
Yeah, what are you saving him from?
His name is Franklin.
Franklin is very cute.
Franklin
Adorable,
is very cute.
even.
We put up stockings this weekend. We put up a Christmas tree and stockings, and we got stockings for the cats. And so two of the stockings are on one side. It's Olivia's, mine, and then one of the cats. And I said, we should move mine and yours. She goes, why? Because you don't want to be by Mocha? I'm like, no, because we have our initial, like we have just our first initials on the stocking, so it looked like B-O. I was like, no, it should be O-B. I'll be by Toast. That way I don't have to be by Mocha's stocking.
Are you pro decorating before Thanksgiving?
Yes, I do. Look, the world... Life is sad sometimes and depressing and long and arduous. Why not inject a little bit more happiness into your life? Joy. Not weird, fake, manufactured, socio-political joy. Real joy. I love it. So I'm completely okay with it. It does make any trip to the store longer. Olivia loves to shop for Christmas stuff. So.
As you do.
As you do. So, all right.
Totally understandable.
Let us go and let's check out Cringe now. Is this one particularly bad? Normally you give me some type of preface beforehand.
This is a street interview where this woman says British people have the best food on the planet.
Okay. Here we go.
What country has the best food in the world?
I'm gonna have to say England.
No, it's not England. That's a good guess, though.
I like how he says it as if there's a specific answer.
It's opinions based.
No, there are some stats that actually come out that's...
Yeah, it's still opinions based. Some people have more popular opinions than others.
I mean, honestly, we live in a culture now where people are so programmable that he could have said, no, that's not the right answer. And she'd be like, oh, what's the right answer? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your opinion is England?
Yes.
Final answer? Mm-hmm. What's good in England?
Everything.
Give me one.
Everything. Popcorn.
What country?
Yes, the UK, world famous for gourmet popcorn. Is that a thing? I mean, British people in the chat, can you tell us?
Beans and toast, let's go.
I mean, actually though, beans and toast, it's not bad.
Yeah,
I've tried it and it's really just not bad. It looks terrible.
Yeah.
It looks disgusting, but I don't want to
That's your American obsession with aesthetic.
A full English breakfast though,
Goes hard.
it goes hard, especially if you drank the night before.
There is a 20 there from demo.
Let me find it.
Says, I'll read it. Says, I'm already decorating for
What the
Arbor
heck?
Day.
What even is that?
Plant a tree.
That's it?
I mean, what else do you do on Arbor Day? You don't
Is
just
that
plant
what
trees?
it's for?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's get started.
Interesting. Well, the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight happened over the weekend. It was a huge television event with 65 million live viewers. If only we could get that kind of viewership. I mean, we're worth it, right?
Yes.
And apparently it was just full of technical difficulties. People were having it buffer on them, and then it was stuck in a freeze frame of Mike Tyson's bare ass. Doesn't sound like something I would want to spend my night watching, but it turns out that Mike Tyson did, in fact, lose the fight. And it was only an exhibition match, so I guess he
No,
kept
it was not.
the-
It was not classified as an exhibition match. This
Really?
was a
That's what everyone was saying after the fact
look.
to cope with the fact that Mike Tyson lost. So
No, this was sanctioned as a full, like it has a record in the record books.
okay.
So
Well, then I take it back.
Yep.
But that's what all the Mike Tyson stands are saying, is that it's an exhibition match. Therefore, it doesn't count as a loss, and he's still a GOAT.
yeah.
But a lot of people are theorizing that Netflix actually rigged this fight and came up with a script for how it was going to go, and that Jake Paul's victory was planned all along.
What I find funny,
what do you think?
is Jake Paul has mastered this technique, right? So the Paul brothers are so hated by so many people that they get this weird collective amnesia every time one of these things happens. And every time they go into it, they're expecting the catharsis of watching a Paul brother get hurt. Now, here's the problem. It doesn't really happen. He lost to Tyson Fury, right? But other than that, they go into it and they're like, I can't wait to watch insert name here finally give Jake Paul his comeuppance. He's the ultimate heel, much like Logan Paul is. And he's a master at business. I did not expect this to really go any way other than this, given his health. But at the same time, I'm not a huge boxing fan, so I don't really know. But under my assumption, I'm like, look, in the real world, 60-year-olds don't lose to to 27-year-olds. Now, nobody in the real world believes that 27-year-old Jake Paul could take on 27-year-old Mike Tyson. Not for a second. But Jake Paul is a shrewd businessman. He's a genius when it comes to promoting this type of stuff. And I don't know if there's a bigger loser in this than Netflix. I think Netflix loses the most in all of this because people are questioning their business model because, first of all, they're asking, was this rigged? Second of all, they prove that they don't have the capacity to hold up their end of the bargain when this many people tune in to watch all at once. I think Vanessa Santos said that it was worse when there was some reality TV show did like a live premiere and it also crashed.
Oh, on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Might have been Love is Blind. I don't remember.
The more important.
And everybody kind of leaves with no catharsis. Everybody leaves blue-balled expecting to see Jake Paul get beat up, and it doesn't happen.
But why did they want to see Jake Paul hurt? What did he do?
I mean, there was worse than that. There was people who were saying, like, I take for granted now that people just wish death upon other people, meaning that there were people, like, basically hoping out loud that Tyson, like, kills this dude.
Look, I know that Jake Paul is annoying. He's a YouTuber. What do you expect? But what did he ever actually do to earn the ire of this many people?
Yeah.
What did he do?
Jake Paul? People just don't like them for the same reason that people have ire towards Haley Welch, Hawk Tuah girl, because they don't believe that getting famous via the methods they got famous for is somehow right or fair.
At least in the case of Logan Paul, I understand it with the whole Suicide Forest debacle, right?
I mean, a lot of people don't even know there's a difference. I saw some people saying they didn't even know the difference between Logan Paul and Jake Paul.
Which is going to be a problem forever for their whole careers. But speaking of Jake Paul specifically, like, I just don't really see why you would hate this guy that much that you would want to see him injured or killed on TV.
Were both of the Paul brothers involved in the crypto scams, or was that just Logan?
I think that was actually Logan.
Okay. Look,
even then, it's like, okay.
He is the ultimate heel, and he's found a way to blend real life and sports in a way that wrestling is known for, right? You know, like in pro wrestling, you have somebody who has to play the bad guy, right? You have to have the heel and you have to have the face. And somebody has to want to see, you know, the whole reason why you build up to pay-per-view matches, like in WWE, is because you want to see the good guy finally triumph over the bad guy. That's one of the hotbed issues when it comes to WrestleMania is like, how do you tell a unique story that nobody sees coming, but also give everyone the catharsis that comes from traditional storytelling? He gives everybody the opportunity to think they're going to get the catharsis, but it never happens because he keeps boxing people that have AARP cards.
So really, if Netflix wanted to rig the fight and script the whole thing, you're saying the right move would have been to rig it in Mike Tyson's favor.
Well, a lot of people were saying that the reason why it went as long is like they think so is like, okay, look, I caught the first 2 rounds and I caught the last 2 rounds. Now, he didn't look like the Mike Tyson of old, but he looked fairly okay in rounds 1 and 2. But by the last 2 rounds, he was just, you know, he could barely move, it felt like. There's a 20 there.
Cesario JPN said, breaking news, Jake Paul announces he's going to fight Muhammad Ali, Jimmy Carter, and some old homeless guy in the ring in upcoming matches. Or the graveyard, whichever venue works best.
Look, it's on the people. This is the free market at work. Everyone left feeling scammed, but how would you have not felt scammed unless you got to see Logan Paul get knocked out? Because if he knocks out Mike Tyson, he doesn't win because he knocked out a 60-year-old, so people are still going to be mad at him, and it's going to ruin people's, you know, memory of Mike Tyson as one of the greatest boxers of all time.
Well,
right?
Clearly Mike Tyson doesn't care about people thinking of him that way.
Exactly, but here's the other thing. And people who compete in these sports take a different perspective on it. I have the utmost respect personally for anybody who chooses to get in the ring at all, right? To put your body on the line for something like that. It's not an easy path forward to fame. And you got to see a couple of punches of the Tyson of old early on that were great. But then by the end, you know, look, he just had like eight units of blood transfused in July and nearly died, or in June and nearly died, and he's nearly 60 years old. I thought it was still perfectly fine to watch, but I understand why people are mad because the last 4 rounds were just a lot of barely moving and Mike Tyson biting his glove and trying not to get knocked out. That's what it felt like.
A lot of people feel that they were gypped. They didn't get what they were hoping for out of the fight.
Yeah.
And then Alex Stein went around after the fact asking the viewers what they thought. Was it scripted by Netflix? Was the whole thing faked?
Before we do that, let's read what Tyson had to say afterwards. So he says, "This is one of those situations when you lost but still won. I'm grateful for last night. No regrets to get in the ring one last time. I almost died in June, had 8 blood transfusions, lost half my blood and 25 pounds in the hospital, and had to fight to get healthy to fight, so I won." Do you remember I don't know if we ever talked about it on air, but there was that clip of him, he had to be like taken in a wheelchair at the airport to his flight. So he says, "To have my children see me stand toe to toe and finish 8 rounds with a talented fighter half my age in front of a packed Dallas Cowboy Stadium is an experience that no man has the right to ask for. Thank you." So that was his statement on the fight.
And they're posting clips of his practice footage and being like, where was this energy in the ring, bro?
Like practicing in the ring with a guy wearing pads who's just passively reaching around in what looks like a hit but is not a hit is not the same thing as going against a dude who's actually trying to hit you. So here we go. Here's the clip they were talking about first. So a lot of people believed in this fake script, right? That him sticking out his tongue here was Jake Paul's signal to Mike to ease up.
Right.
Here we go. I don't know if we're going to get
It's in slow-mo here.
He got him there. He caught him in the chin.
And he's sticking his tongue out at Mike Tyson in this video, presumably as a signal to say, hey, take it easy on me.
Or he's trying to psych him out.
Yeah, he bounds up to Mike Tyson in the face-off like a gorilla. This is the type of stuff that Jake Paul does. It's very in character.
So here is what Alex Stein got from people.
We just asked everybody walking out if they thought the fight was rigged, and I think you know their answers. Check them out.
Rigged. Rigor mortis. Rigor mortis. It was scripted. It's all good though.
I could have fought him better than that.
Dog shit, brother. I'm telling you, it's fucking. The shit was fucked, honestly.
Dude, I've seen more interesting paint dry. More interesting paint.
You come from Australia for this
It's
shit?
literally the meme of the fat guy watching American Ninja Warrior, and he's got like Cheetos all over him. He goes, "You idiot," when the guy falls.
It's fucking dog shit.
Fuck yeah. Fucking shit was ass.
The fuck? So you think it was rigged? You damn right. Tell him mouth traffic.
Rape?
Rigged.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm not.
I don't know if it was rigged, but I think it was a scrimmage.
What do you think it was rigged?
Yes. I thought, yeah, it was fucking rigged. Fuck Tyson.
I did not like the fight.
None of those people would say that to his face.
Wow.
Not one of them.
The fight was lame. I wasted my money. They really did it for the money, but don't want to say Mike wasn't even trying, bro. A little rigged. Was it a real fight? I have no idea. Hey, kind of rigged.
I don't know if it was a fixed fight.
I just think it's old.
And we want some candy. Definitely.
It was perfect. It was a great fight.
I think it was rigged, but Mike Tyson just fumbled.
Rigged a little bit. I think he should got hit.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I don't think it was rigged.
Okay, you get the picture.
Most of these people are coping.
Yes.
I've got to be real. Like, it's just clear that he lost fair and square. We have a 20 from Elizabeth Schuster. Happy Monday, gang. My dream since I was a teen 20 years ago has finally come true. The closest big town near me opened a Taco Bell today. For years, the closest one was 2 hours away. Liv Moss, have a wonderful day. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
And I feel so sorry for you that you lived in a place where you didn't have Taco Bell. I can't even imagine.
I did
It's
see
awful.
a friend of mine posted an Instagram story today about he bought a Baja Blast alcoholic beverage.
Well, those are at the Taco Bell cantinas, aren't they?
I don't know if they have that specifically, but he bought it.
They have
from,
like frozen margaritas and stuff.
So look, one thing that I saw that I laughed at here, guys, was and you guys know that I'm still a big fan of wrestling, even if I don't watch it weekly. I do follow along with podcasts. People were like Netflix, like people were like WWE freaking out because Netflix wasn't able to stream this thing properly. They're not going to be getting 65 million peak concurrents. That's not going to be a thing.
We got a 20 from Crystal Roller saying fight, fight, fight with a crystal ball and a boxing glove. Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but
All right, so, you know, these things are going to continue because there's a lot of money in these celebrity-style boxing and MMA bouts, right?
I'm kind of surprised that iDubbbz Creator Clash didn't, you know, stay a thing. The last one that he planned totally flopped. It was a massive loss and no one cared.
I think it means more when it's celebrities that have permeated the mainstream.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to work as much if it's streamer 1 versus streamer 2.
Right.
Like, me and you might find that interesting, but everybody else, you know, half the people watching
You want to see the mainstream one fighting the influencer.
And that's why Jake Paul is so successful, right? So, all right, let's go to some super chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Monday, Brett and Mary. Once again, thank you all for the prayers for my priest. Unfortunately, we were told at Sunday Mass he has deteriorated to the point that he can no longer celebrate Mass. On a lighter note, I'm now on a first-name basis with the employees at Taco Bell. I walked in and they were like, 'Here's your order, Shane.' Wow, it's like the 1950s up in there. You're a regular."
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that about your priest.
Very sorry
again.
to hear that.
I will continue praying for him. Andrew Jacobs said Tyson is slightly better than Kamala against Trump. Wait, who is the Kamala in this situation?
I think he's saying that Tyson fared slightly better against Jake Paul than Kamala Harris did against Trump.
In the debate?
Yeah. Or no, in the election.
Okay. We have a 20 from V Wit. Last February, I was a vein burst in through puked blood for 3 days and almost died. Ulcers are no joke and they will kill you. I was rushed to the ER and also given 8 bags of blood to keep me alive. I felt weak ever since.
And that's almost a year ago now, so you can understand what he went through. I think I liked Matt Walsh's take where he goes, in the real world, 60-year-olds don't beat up 27-year-olds. And we do kind of have this fixation on staying forever young and pretending like aging doesn't happen and that we're just going to stay the same forever. And we imagine Mike Tyson as he was in the 80s when he would knock everyone out in the first round or the first or second round. And we have this hope that we can be that way forever when that's not the case. It's interesting because I've actually gotten to experience that firsthand because I've been skating now for 25 years. And to this day, it does still bum me out when I realize that I have to stretch when I didn't have to when I was young to go out and skate, right? Or that I don't have the ability to take falls the way that I used to and wake up the next day and just go to work.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I don't get to take the risks that I did when I was younger. But that's something that unless you participate in a sport like that where it becomes invariably clear faster, if all you're doing is just kind of going through life and expecting to not age, you have to have an acute example of your life changing in that way over a period of time. Now, during 2020 and 2021, I would say that I was in like the best shape that I ever been in skating wise because I was skating 2 times a day in addition to going to work. But that was all my life was at that time. Most people don't have the ability to just focus on that one thing.
Yeah.
Right? So you know, if you've got a friend who plays in a softball league or plays some type of weekend sport, we've talked about weekend warriors here before, they understand, right? It's you're not the same, but that's okay.
Your mentality changes with age, not just your physicality.
Correct.
Yeah. Corey Anderson said Brett OC deserves a new couch. Why?
Maybe one day. Look, we never use the living room because the couch is like, it's literally designed. It actually feels like it was designed to harm you.
It's made of styrofoam.
It's basically, it's like somebody designed a couch. You're like, what if we made something to hurt people?
It's a torture device.
And that's the kind, like,
it's not
it belongs in a movie, in a Saw movie. It does.
Yeah. Sirico Productions said in before Ariana Grande might have cancer, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? With that being said,
PCC tonal issues.
With that being said,
it's literally unavoidable.
Let's move on.
Well, as Ariana Grande is on the press junket for Wicked, fans are beginning to express worry about her health. They're taking notice of some dramatic weight loss and her very thin appearance. But some people also claim she always looked like that, and she is actually in the best shape of her life, couldn't be better. This is the picture of health. And I don't know which camp I would fall into. I guess neither. I don't think she looks great. But I also don't know this woman, so how am I supposed to know whether she is sick with anything? An eating disorder. Some people say they're comparing this to Chadwick Boseman's deteriorating health with cancer diagnosis. You don't really know unless you know the person, but she is in the public eye nearly on a constant basis, and this is up for discussion, naturally. Thank you.
Tonal issues.
Every time. Every damn time.
I'm not cutting it out later either. I'm leaving it there.
That's fine. This is what we're best at.
Tonal issues, guys.
And it's not just Ariana Grande, it's also her co-star Cynthia Erivo. They're pointing out dramatic weight loss on her part as well.
So here was a before photo.
This is what they looked like before production for Wicked, and you can see what they look like now, a month into press for the movie. So that's worrying, right?
Yes, it is.
Am I just imagining things? Is this some kind of optical illusion?
No, I thought Eugenia Cooney at first. The shoulders, the arms are very, very, very thin. She does not look healthy.
But here's the thing, though. I've pointed this out to you before, off air, and you were like, no, she looks exactly the same. She looks
This
fine.
is not the same photo. Like, this is not the photo I was looking at. Like, when I saw this one in particular, I was shocked.
This one is from a recent red carpet event where they're doing all of these premiere events for the
No,
movie.
she does not look healthy. This is not the photo I was looking at before.
Yeah, and then I saw a set photo where Ariana Grande's in costume and she's eating her lunch for the day. It is literally just a Tupperware with sliced cucumbers in it. Yeah. And she's in the middle of taking a bite of a sliced cucumber, and that's what she considers to be lunch.
I saw Keemstar mention, goes, look, people gain and lose weight all the time for movie roles.
Yeah.
And that is 110% true, and that could be what's going on here, I suppose, but it doesn't mean that you can't have the discussion about whether something is going on.
But people are getting really offended by those who are bringing it up.
Yeah.
Like, people are getting offended that you shouldn't even say anything. You shouldn't even speak on it. They're saying that's wrong. Like, leave her alone. Like, leave Ariana Grande alone.
People said the same thing about Chadwick Boseman when he posted that video in 2020. Was it in 2020? And people said people lose and gain weight all the time for roles, but he didn't look like he was losing weight for a role. He didn't look well.
But if he were losing weight for a role, that's what it would look like, though. So you never know. But these people are in show business, and the nature of that industry is you're in a visual medium, nearly constantly having people watching you. So yeah, any weight that you gain or lose is going to be noticed by your fans. Yeah. And I don't think it's wrong to point it out. People are getting so offended about it. Yeah. It's weird that they're trying to draw attention away from it on purpose. Like, you're not allowed to say anything. She's a public figure, this comes with the territory.
Also, they get mad when you say it when they're overweight. You can also mention it when they look underweight. It's a matter of public interest. That's the nature of being a celebrity. You don't just get to be talked about when you're doing things right. Mm-hmm. You're going to be the subject of many things, of many forms of interest from people. And it's not always going to be positive. And in this case, I don't think it's wrong to at least ask the question, is something going on? Not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to judge her in any way, shape, or form. Goodness knows the pressures that are on somebody with that much star power. A movie like that, a career like that has got to be immense. But I don't think that anybody's wrong for asking the question.
We got a 20 from Carnell. Cynthia and Ariana both are open about abstain minutes from eating animal products. There, I saved everyone a Google search.
Okay, so if
minutes?
If they're vegetarians or they're vegans, I guess that makes sense. But if she's been a vegan for a long time, that doesn't explain the recent weight loss.
Well, Ariana Grande has been vegan for basically her entire career up to this point. But and it's true, she has always been on the smaller side. Like, she's always been basically pretty skinny. Yep. And people have said things about it before, but it was never to this extreme. People do see a marked difference, but also she's changed other things about her appearance. Her hair color, she doesn't fake tan anymore. She's dressing in these more I would say, girlish outfits, less mature looking. That's for her role as well. She deleted everything about her own personality to engulf herself in this role, which I think is admirable.
Oh,
like,
okay.
For
so
your dedication to the role, but it's turned into something a little bit twisted.
I will tell you what the feminists would end up saying is they would say that if a man was doing this, he would be praised for it.
Oh, like Christian Bale?
Yes.
Well, I mean, what Christian Bale did, though, for that role when he lost all that weight, he actually got addicted to it. He developed an eating disorder. After he no longer needed to have that physique, he did actually develop a compulsion
and a
to
lot
keep
of
going.
actors tell you now that you shouldn't be doing that, and it's not. Robert John Burke did the same thing, that you shouldn't be doing that, and that it's not healthy for you. So, I mean, but like people say the same thing about the actors who, you know, they got a Marvel movie coming up, and they got to put on some muscle quick, and then suddenly you're twice normal size in just a couple of months.
Yeah, but even that is less risky than what we're talking about. I also saw some people pointing out that Ariana Grande has a responsibility to her young female fan base to portray an image that promotes health and safety.
Does she have that responsibility?
I don't know. This one TikToker named Chloe Ferrero explained it in her own words, and I think we should take a look at that video.
I'll never be of the opinion that the actor owes you anything.
No, I don't think she would owe anyone anything. It would just be nice if she felt that way.
Okay, here we go.
Now that the Arianators are probably already choosing what weapon they're going to use to assassinate me, but you could not pay me to say that Ariana Grande looks healthy, because she does not. She looks sick, she looks emaciated, and for a 32-year-old woman, she is strikingly thin. I want to approach this subject with sympathy because I understand that Ariana Grande is in the limelight, and that comes with so much pressure. She is one of the most famous people in the world, and I'm sure that that is a struggle for her in ways that I can't understand. But because she's in the limelight, we have no choice but to acknowledge that she is a role model, and she does set an example for a lot of people, especially young people, young girls specifically. Her fan base is a ton of young girls, a ton of young women. And because of that, as much as I don't like commenting on the appearance of women as someone who has gone through that themselves, it's important to acknowledge that other people are going to look up to her. Little girls might walk through Target, see the doll of Ariana Grande, and think, I should look like that. They might see the billboard on the highway of her looking strikingly thin and think, I should look like that. To claim that she's the healthiest she's ever been, to claim that she's at peak performance, for her to go on an interview and defend herself, which she has every right to do, but to say that people that are calling her out are crazy and they're obsessed and they're conspiracy theorists, I don't know exactly what she said, but that's what Twitter was basically saying that she was saying. All of that sums up into a narrative that teaches people that that body is attainable and beneficial, that you can do it too and there's no problem with it.
So what do you think of her point of view? Does Ariana Grande have some sort of responsibility to the girls who idolize her?
No, I don't think so. I think the parents have a responsibility to take care of their kids and talk to them about these things, Is it
so wrong to say both are true? I mean, I think that both are true.
I just never seem to fall into this camp where I believe that, because people will make endless requests of you then.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think most importantly, who you owe something to is yourself.
She owes it to
herself to be in good health.
Yeah,
she owes it to her family members to be in good health and have longevity. She owes it to the people who employ her as well. To be in good health and be able to perform and do her job correctly.
Do I need to lose weight because it's the right thing to do for people who watch this show so that I can be thinner, so I can be a good role model? Yeah. No. If you're looking to me for some type of health advice, you've screwed up far more than I have any ability to help you with.
Some people are also claiming that stress is what prompted Ariana Grande's weight loss, whether or not it's intentional on her part. This is a timeline that a fan put together. 2017, a terrorist attack happened on Ariana and her fans in Manchester. In 2018, Mac Miller died. And at the same time, she also had a brief engagement that was extremely publicized to Pete Davidson that was then broken off.
I mean, Pete Davidson will cause stress in anyone's life.
He
That's
seems
true.
like a nightmare to be
That's
around. Yeah, then they said that she cut off all of her friends, got engaged again, got married for real this time, then got divorced in 2023, and a hate train followed because she ended up in a relationship with a man who was married and had a newborn child.
There's a better question for you right there. So she's responsible to you as a role model by being the right weight, but not by making the right choices about her marriage or her personal life.
I see so much more hate directed toward Ariana Grande about how she looks than the way that she acts. And the way that she acts is reprehensible. The way that she is basically a homewrecker is not being pointed out, but her clavicle is showing.
Like, I don't think that either of those are her. I don't think that her poor choices in her personal life or her weight are a sign that she's somehow less of a role model for young fans, because it's not her job, at least in my personal opinion. That's the parent's job to instill good role models on their children, right? She's never going to be able to answer for everything. And the choices in her personal life seem to be just as glaring.
Oh, yeah, she clearly doesn't care about being a role model. We knew that already, based on the fact that she is a home wrecker.
There's a 20 there.
Pete Donovan said, pray that Ariana's health doesn't follow the same trajectory as Karen Carpenter. What happened to her the final several years of her short life is not for the faint of heart. Are you familiar with this story?
No.
I have
Eugenia
not heard of that.
Cooney, who's very, very well known now and very, very, basically an anorexia influencer.
Right, and she's just never been deplatformed, and she's kind of allowed to continue spinning her wheels and using social media validation to fuel her addiction.
But again, at the same time, I think that it's incumbent upon the parents and the people watching them to make informed decisions for themselves. And I always wonder how far does it go, right? How much influence do we assume that we have to put off on another person before we take responsibility for our choices?
And also, people have remarked on the way that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are crying in all of these interviews. And it is really weird. I've never seen anything like it on a press tour for a movie. But someone pointed out it might be related to this rumored eating disorder. They said, the shit your brain does when you're starving is so crazy. When I was anorexic, I couldn't look at my driver's license because I would start crying about how beautiful the concept of organ donation was.
Yeah, it's
clearly can make you mentally unstable.
It's true that, like, for instance, when you go through when you come back from drug withdrawal, your body is changing and fluctuating again, and you start having like massive emotional spikes because you've been numbing your body for so long that it's like reacclimating to experiencing stimuli again. So you'll have massive emotional reactions to things that would never cause such a thing before. So again, I have a lot of sympathy for her, and even some empathy, given that I've gone through similar things, obviously not for the same reasons, but those types of emotional spikes like that. I just worry that people will put it off on the celebrity to be a good role model for their kids so they don't have to be. And that also at the same time, it is not against the rules or against the law to have opinions on these things, because it is both your job as a parent to parent your children and show them good role models. It is also your job as a celebrity to understand that in the public eye, you don't get to decide how conversations around you go. So everybody, take more responsibility for your own actions.
And stop tone policing. And as it relates to the emotional outbursts they've been showing in these interviews, it's either that explanation or, the stress they're under, or what I think is more likely than either of those two is that they're dramatic theater kids, and what they're trying to do in these interviews is really play up a fake chemistry between the co-stars that doesn't actually exist, just so they can use that fake friendship to sell the movie.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
mean,
it seems to me.
That's the worst type of Hollywood thing to me.
Like, we're like sisters now.
There's nothing I hate more than like fake friendship in Hollywood. Put
Thank
a girl
you,
on.
guys. Let's read some super chats.
Hold on. All right.
Pop Culture Junkie said your conveyor belt music reference so prescient. Was it a reference to something? If it was, I was not aware.
What did I say?
I think I said that Sabrina Carpenter is on the conveyor belt in the music industry.
I mean,
like
she
she's
is
getting prepared to be the next big thing.
It does feel that way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then then they'll just find the next person after that, and everybody just kind of gets drag and dropped. It doesn't mean they're not talented. It just means that to reach a certain level of fame, you have to have both a certain level of talent and the support of the machine.
I just think that if you're not as iconic as Taylor Swift was at 25, or if you're not as iconic as Britney Spears was at 25, I don't really see, like, I don't think you have the secret ingredient.
Taylor Swift, like, as popular as she was at that time, had her entire resurgence in her 30s.
She did. You're right. But in that time frame, when she was 25, she was still massive, like a massive deal compared to where Sabrina Carpenter is at now. So maybe the Disney machine isn't as effective as we think.
Let's do two more.
Urashima Otaru said ritualistic cannibalism on display for the public. I mean, that's what it seems like to me, but that's just my take. Shane H. Wilder said, when my dad died, we just interred him at the columbarium at his parish because Catholic. What she did is horrid and very much for clout. It was definitely a clout chase. Because why do you need to post a video of you doing that?
Like if you were going to do it, don't turn it into content.
If it's really
But I don't
that's
know.
meaningful and deep and sentimental, like, does it need to be shared with thousands of people? Matt said, I smoke shit tons of herb like the sacrament is for you.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I will, he's just saying that smoking for him is a spiritual experience.
That's stupid.
Do as you will.
That's laughably
It's again, as somebody in recovery, I'm never going to shame. I don't have a leg to stand on by shaming people for doing stuff like that. That's not my place to do.
Well, I will. Don't worry. I'll make up for the both
There's
of us.
there's a 20 there.
Isaac Cervantes III said, Brett eats like that guy on YouTube that has never tried insert regular ass fruit and records his reaction. Hi, Mary. Also, I'm disappointed in the Tyson Logan slap fight. Don't tell Mike.
Yeah, don't tell Mike you were upset with it, or at least not within arm's reach. You don't want him to be able to catch you with one.
So, have you had a kiwi before?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, you literally are that guy. You need to record your first reaction to like eating all of these normal ass foods.
I have.
You have?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you had
there is lots of stuff I haven't tried though.
Like, have you had a honeydew?
Somebody says Brett tries a grape for the
Watermelon.
first time. I love grapes. There's nothing wrong with grapes. I've had a honeydew.
Okay.
Not
Just
my,
checking.
Not my first choice, but let's
Hiroshima Otaru.
let's hold off on the rest.
Move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. So, How to Train Your Dragon is one of those animated movies that has this huge cult following, and that's why DreamWorks decided to start adapting it into a live-action movie. And I just hate this trend in general when they take something that's an animated classic and they have to do the cash grab live action that takes all of the charm and everything that we loved about it away. But, to make matters worse, of course, when you take something from animation to live action, the casting debates get heated.
Mm-hmm.
And the cast for How to Train Your Dragon is public information now. They cast Astrid, the blonde, blue-eyed Viking character, and they made her a black woman in the movie. Okay?
Tandy Newton's daughter. She was also in The Last of Us. She played
Right.
Joel's biological daughter at the very beginning. It was actually the best scene in the show.
So what
scene.
we know about her, she's Tandy Newton's daughter, so she's a Nepo actress, first off. And the only other notable role that Nico Parker has had is another race-swapped character from an existing IP.
Yep.
So what does that say about who's getting propped up and astroturfed in Hollywood, first off? But again, this is yet another example where this character very clearly should be of European descent. It's literally a Viking. They're supposed to be Scandinavian. All the rest of the cast, as far as I can tell, were not race swapped, but Astrid was. One person said instead of casting an actual blonde Swedish or Norwegian girl to play Astrid, they just had to cast a black girl to play a white Viking for absolutely no reason. I think I want to play Mally Mouse's video on this because she had a very impassioned speech. I just sent it to you in case you don't have it.
This one right here?
Yeah.
And before you start with me, yeah, it has to do with her race. Because this is a story about Vikings. Look at the real Astrid. Blonde hair, blue eyes. You know, people love to throw out the term whitewashed a lot, but I would really love to discuss what kind of color washing is happening to every live action movie that comes out now. Didn't need it. Definitely didn't need it. Still don't want it. And here you guys are basically making the Lion King live action with How to Train Your Dragon. Just because you hired real actors does not mean that you're not gonna have to CGI half that fucking movie. That's not even the point. I was willing to let go of the CGI thing when you weren't gonna do another race swap. What is so hard about staying true to the original stories? Do we have to keep reinventing them? Because obviously no one likes them. Except for the loudmouth stars that you choose to do them, of course. Because here is the new Astrid saying, I could never do America Ferrera's interpretation of Astrid because I am not her. Well, then maybe you shouldn't be her. Honestly, I think we're at the point where we can start calling this cultural appropriation. You know, I was willing to let go of the mermaid thing and the blue fairy thing and all these things because those are just mythological, made-up things. But now you're just distorting history so that you can effectively pander. I hear a lot of people complain that we don't talk about Black history enough. Well, yeah, maybe it's because y'all are busy stealing everyone else's history.
Savage.
That was savage.
I mean, do you feel strongly about it?
You know, look, I never feel strongly about the race swaps unless they inject actual racial discussion into the character that was never there to begin with.
They might. Don't put it past them.
But to be fair, I understand where all of the anger comes from it because most of the time when this happens, it's not happening to characters that I'm super fond of. So that doesn't mean that that's not how I'll feel when it does eventually happen. When they eventually remake Burn Notice and make Michael Weston black, I might have a different reaction. I have no idea. But I have the same feeling about this discussion every time that we have when we talk about whether straight actors can play gay characters or whether gay actors should play straight characters and whether cancel culture is still happening or not. I'm just like...
Lay sigh.
Like,
well, I hate the excuses that keep getting repeated over and over again. Most notably, oh, it's a movie with dragons in it. Why are you trying to say it should be historically accurate?
they,
okay.
I don't like this. I don't like the straw manning of the arguments.
Black Panther is set in a non-existent mythological country with, what is it called? There's the chemical. With it.
You mean in
vibranium?
Vibranium in Wakanda?
No, that was from Avatar.
No, vibranium.
Vibranium. They have vibranium as their fuel sources. So what if we just made a spin-off of Black Panther and race swapped all of the characters to be white because it's fake? It's mythological anyways. Who cares? Why do you care so much? Why are you so mad? Oh, you want representation? How dare you? Yeah. It's never a two-way street. We already knew that.
The other best way to get over this, if I was to give the studio any advice, is to hire people that actually have a name and recognition. There's a reason why certain actors get away with it more readily than others. A great example that I always forget to bring up is Will Smith as Deadshot in Suicide Squad, which a lot of people forget that was a race swap. Nobody cared.
Well, it's Will Smith.
Because it's Will Smith, right? So certain actors are going to get away with it because when it comes down to it, people still think of meritocracy first, even above, in a lot of ways, you know, the storyline, right? They're like, look, okay, I don't think they should have done it, but I get it. You've got Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. It's Samuel L. Jackson. Everybody loves Samuel L. Jackson. It's Will Smith. Everyone used to love Will Smith. It makes sense, right?
Well, they did that with Zendaya in Dune. She's a race swap.
Yeah, but nobody actually cares.
Nobody liked that.
She is not Will Smith, and she is not she's not Denzel Washington, she's not Will Smith, and she's not Samuel L. Jackson. And you hurt these actresses and these actors long term, because then they have asterisks next to their career that they don't readily need. And I don't even necessarily care about the actors doing it. It's kind of like, I'm not going to hate on an actor for getting a paycheck. They just want to make some money. I will be annoyed at the studio for turning them into cannon fodder. And then me having to sit there and listen to everybody complain about it because they all want to bitch about it. Now, do I care necessarily when there's race swaps inherently? No. Do I then judge the actors when they get mad when people are angry about it? Yes. If you sign up to do that, it's your responsibility to know that you're putting yourself in the line of fire by doing that.
Well, since you bring that up, I would like to show a TikTok explaining the backstory of why Cynthia Erivo, the race-swapped Wicked Witch of the East in Wicked, was so offended by fan-edited posters.
There's a 20.
This is from Dingus Khan. Greetings from Minnesota. Just started watching a week ago and have watched live since. Thanks for making my 2 to 4 awesome. You guys are great. Thank you so much.
And as a fellow Minnesotan, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
All right.
Solidarity.
Here we go.
Reason why Cynthia was mad about Wicked poster being modified. Probably y'all don't know that she acted as the blue fairy on Pinocchio. She got so much hate only because she was a black woman. People were so
Might have been
mean
that
with her
she's
and
bald.
disrespected on her in all the aspects. She wasn't really upset about the poster being modified. She just didn't want to show vulnerability to people again and be treated horribly again, regardless of her talent. So please stop being mean with her. If all of you were massively harassed because of your ethnicities, y'all would act the same as her.
Okay.
So we have to handle her with kid gloves and not criticize anything about any movie she's in because she has a complex? That's
Again,
it? That's what I'm hearing?
This is the same thing I said about Ariana Grande. You are a celebrity. It is your job to handle your fame in a way that is not going to lose your studio money.
That's wild.
Right?
That's absolutely wild.
I'm going to tell them. Look, I know that you, the Hollywood studios, are crack whores, addicted to doing this. I get it. It's not easy to wean off of it. But if you're going to consider to continue your crackhead behavior, what you should be doing is casting the most recognizable actor you can find. And I don't just mean like a good actor. Like I said, you need to find somebody who is above reproach when it comes to fame and notoriety, because then people will focus on that casting rather than the race. Because most people don't know about it. Most of the time when this happens, the normies don't know, nor do they care. Mm-hmm. They don't care if Floyd Lawton was black or white. They just care that Will Smith is the character. Okay? But when you cast somebody that nobody knows, you allow the people who make that your point of discussion to control the narrative. I'm literally trying to help them right now. Okay? So if you're going to do that, cast the best person you know, and at least you'll push back a little bit on the hate you're going to get. But I know for a fact that you're not going to do that.
They never listen.
Never will.
Yeah. In a recent interview about the live action How to Train Your Dragon, this girl, Nico Parker, explains how this film will be different from the original, what fans should expect. She said, I think it's very much its own thing, and I'd like to think so much of that magic is also prevalent in this one. It's its own film, and it's its own interpretation, and everyone has their own version of a character. It's important not to get too wrapped up, especially because the animated ones are so brilliant. Mm-hmm. Let's not try and just do a play-by-play of that, and if anyone wants that, they can watch the animated ones. It'll be wonderful, and if it isn't, I'm having a wonderful time making it anyway. It's wonderful no matter what.
Okay.
That just, I don't know, like, why are you making an updated version of something that people loved?
Yeah.
I feel like nobody's gonna watch this.
Look, I don't know. How far off is the release date?
It's in June next year.
It'll be, what we'll have to do is when it gets closer to the time, we'll have to pay closer attention to what the box office projections look like for this film. But this also just, look, a lot of these animated movies don't need live action.
Not at all.
Back in the day, it was a lot of fun to think about the live action adaptation of films, and it was great speculation.
It was fun conversation,
It was great conversation, but that was because when you had these discussions, it was in good faith, and you assumed that the studios would do their best to stay accurate to the characters, but that's never really been the case. So,
well, they're putting out an animated Lord of the Rings show, aren't they, on Amazon?
No, that's a theater release.
Is it?
War for Whom, yeah.
Okay, when is that?
Christmas.
Is that also next year?
Christmas, I think.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that until just now.
This also came up, guys, because they cast Andra Day as Athena in Percy Jackson season 2. Percy Jackson season 2, to its credit, has done very, very well numbers-wise, and is not garnering the hate. The best place, and I'm not even kidding you, the best place you can be is to find a middle ground between hate watching and no publicity at all. Like, certain shows can just do it. Like, one of the death knells for Rings of Power season 2 was just that nobody was talking about it because the hate for season 1 was so bad that everything by comparison seemed like nothing. But what you need is to get a little bit of publicity to start and then grow. Because if I remember correctly, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, their number base for viewers grew as the show went on, not fell. So you got to find a middle ground, and you got to find your audience, and then just go with it. Otherwise, the bad publicity wins. Here I am just trying to give them advice on how to fix it, and they're not going to listen to any of it.
You're so altruistic.
I know.
They just don't deserve it.
That is 100%.
Oh, they're talking about race swapping one character you do like, James Bond.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying that whiteness is not a given for the character. This has been going on for as long as Idris Elba has been considered for the character. I still think Aaron Taylor Johnson is a very likely pick for this character. If Bridgerton had remained as successful as it continued, I would have thought Regé-Jean Page would have still gone on to be James Bond. But we'll have to wait and see. Another example I'll give you of how these things tend to happen is look at the postmortem on what they did with Batman Caped Crusader with the gender-swapped penguin versus the absolute juggernaut of a penguin that we got in the live-action adaptation with Colin Farrell, right? People liked Caped Crusader, but it eventually just kind of left the public consciousness fairly quickly. The Batman's spin-off series, The Penguin, was a cultural moment this year for that series and did huge numbers for them regularly at the top of the Samba TV charts. And that's because they gave you a very, very good-looking, honest comic book portrayal in live action of the character. Hey, you even got to swap something. You got to make a thin person fat. So their desperation desire to not be 110% accurate still gets to be fulfilled. You still get to do your thing. You get to fat shame by making a skinny person the Penguin.
Are we, I don't know. I think they're already talking about making a spin-off from the Penguin.
Yeah, they're gonna do. I've also seen that they want to do a Barry Keoghan Joker series.
Okay, fine. People would watch that, but a spin-off of the Penguin.
And they're gonna do season 2 of the Penguin. I think they said. I remember Colin Farrell saying he didn't want to. Like he's like
he said he was done.
He's like the makeup takes forever.
Yeah.
It's like if you watch the videos of them having to put it on, it just looks awful. It just looks miserable.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Okay, let's read the rest of these super chats. Hiroshima Otaru said plants 100% absorb ash. Ash is a common fertilizer. Okay. Then that other guy stands corrected. I don't know. Tacti Platy said Gran Torino has old man teach young man how to be.
Somebody says James Gunn flat out said that there are no plans to make a Joker spin-off series. I could have been, I thought I read that somewhere. So if I am misinformed there, I apologize.
The Harsh Truth said nobody's trying to do the Trump dance during the national anthem.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Like, it's not at that moment. It's not making a political
If they did,
series.
I think I would be against that, yeah.
Yes, there is no Joker spin-off series. Okay, so I was misinformed on that one.
We read a lot of fake news.
Well, you have to parse through it all.
Pop Culture Junkie said Pookie movie idea, 2 apps talking to each other. Yeah, that's the future of dating, actually. You put your phones together at a dinner table, and then you walk away, and it has an AI conversation between your 2 devices.
Perfect.
With Pookie tools.
Yep.
That's what we have to look forward to. We're like so over as a human race. Bagel Bites said they're smoking the moms, they're smoking the dads.
No!
It's true. It's sad. Greg Duvier said, non-political person, that is a cute little celebration dance. Non-political person, why are you kneeling during national anthem?
I think
That is disrespectful. I mean, I think that they're just having fun with it, and the journalists are the ones who are getting mad. Ben Ryder said, I wore my MAGA hat to a college basketball game last Saturday, and YMCA came on the loudspeakers. I didn't get up and do the Trump dance. I regret it. Yeah, but what a missed opportunity.
Should have done it.
Everyone wanted you to do it. Yurishima Otaru said Trump dance isn't inherently political. Would you agree?
Less so than kneeling during the national anthem.
Yeah, definitely. But since Trump is like, the president-elect, and you're like referencing something you like about him, I feel that is kind of political, but it's fine. Even if it's political, but it's fine. Like, why are we freaking out?
Look, if somebody wanted to do the Joe Biden dance, I would have no problem with that either.
What
if
is
it was
that?
during, I have no idea. I don't know. Sniffing someone's hair. I don't know.
Licking ice cream.
That's what I was thinking of, but I was like, I'm not going to make that motion.
Yeah, no.
Because no. There's a 20 there. From
Not my name. Little late, but race swaps examples would be gods of Egypt. Black people lost their collective ish over most of the gods being white. Most even boycotted it. I never heard of that project, but I feel like Cleopatra has gotten race swapped like 10 times to make up for it. So.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. We got that from Netflix last year.
Tacti Platy said, can confirm and agree about those toxic signs, Brett.
The what?
About kindness.
Yeah, it's really creepy. I have a real problem with toxic positivity.
It costs $0 to be a decent effing person.
It's the most disingenuous thing in the world, and the reason why I feel that way is because I'm like, I saw some people in the chat earlier making fun of me because they're like, Brett doesn't take a stand about anything. But there's like, what's worse? Like somebody who's kind of like, whatever about everything, or somebody who has to be toxically positive in the most disingenuous way about everything. And that's what it feels like most of social media encourages these days. Because, and even worse was that they were all like sponsored by companies. So it's like corporate positivity, which is maybe the most disgusting thing on the planet. Just like, no. You're allowed to not be positive all the time.
No, everyone should be toxically negative like me.
How about we find some middle ground
here? Which one am I? Am I lawful evil or am I lawful good?
You're lawful evil.
I have to be evil?
Yeah, you're lawful evil.
Damn it. Yeah. Weary Traveler said, Brett, you putting up Christmas decorations before December makes my life less joyful.
You
ruined his entire Christmas.
Well, you know what? It costs $0 to be kind and pretend like me putting up Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving upsets you.
It costs $0 to let people enjoy things.
Why do you even care? Why do you even care?
Let people enjoy things, you a-hole.
Shane H. Wilder said, I've been to England a few times. Fish and chips and a full English breakfast are great, but they also sell hot dogs in a jar, which is gross AF. They sell hot dogs in a jar?
It's disgusting.
What do you mean?
In the
Why?
chat, Rampaging Marshmallow says Mary is lawful evil and Brett is chaotic neutral.
No, you're lawful neutral.
I'll be lawful neutral.
You're not chaotic.
I'm fine with being lawful neutral. There's a 20 there from
I
Nate.
have more of an authority on this. I spend more time with Brett than you guys do. Which one was this?
Nate at the bottom.
On 50 before the show, your exact words were, she will eclipse Taylor. I assumed you meant as in a currently relevant sense, which I could agree with, but I laughed out loud and people stared. Just laughing like a lunatic while watching the show.
She may eclipse Taylor if all the cards fall into place and everything works out exactly as the degenerate studio executives who want to push degenerate sexual proclivities on the masses have their way.
It's not really her choice. It's the industry's choice.
They're like, this is enough of this wholesome Taylor Swift PG-13 pop music.
But did you see that super spicy
We're gonna
dance
get this
move that Taylor Swift did the other day?
It was the worst thing ever.
It was so spicy and risque and raunchy.
Did we watch it here?
I don't think you put it up. If you can find it again.
There's a point where she stands up and it all falls apart and she becomes gangly again.
Yeah. Well, if you can find it, we should show it to the audience because it was a sight to behold. Thank you, by the way. Thomas Stein said Jake Paul looted during the 2020 riots. Is that true?
I have no idea.
And what, filmed himself doing it? That's insane. I mean, I have no idea, though. So, Holly Movie Star said, did you see Mike Tyson post on X? He said he needed 8 blood transfusions and lost 25 pounds while hospitalized due to ulcer flare-up and said he almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah, that mystery medical episode that he had was explained finally. V. Witt said so on PCC, Mary's the heel and Brett's the face. What does that mean in
wrestling terms? It means you're the bad guy and I'm the good guy.
I'm the bad guy?
Well, the heel is the bad guy.
I listened to there's this
I don't have enough it factor to be a really good baby face. And I don't think Mary would be a heel. I think Mary would be a tweener.
What is
Tweener's
that?
like you're like halfway between bad guy and good guy. Like you wanna, like a lot of tweeners people root for even though they're not inherently a good guy. Stone Cold Steve Austin could have often been considered a tweener.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll do that. But Falling in Reverse is like kind of going through a renaissance period right now. I think Phil was talking about this last week.
Okay.
And Ronnie Radke has this song called Bad Guy. And I'm so embarrassed that I like it. If you haven't listened to it, you should go listen to it.
Okay.
Okay. Holly Movie Star said, I think that ulcer crippled him. His spars on social media were before the ulcer happened. Why I will always respect Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that really it?
I mean, from what everybody said today is that those ulcers can be debilitating. So doing the fight at all is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, good on him for sticking with the commitment. Yeah. Omega Red fan said, my Netflix got stuck halfway into the fight and just kept glitching, buffering. So disappointed.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have any problems with 65 million peak concurrents anytime soon.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm saying like any other, because, a lot of people believe that live streaming is now the way to go for live events.
Are you saying that as like a sarcastic?
No, I'm saying like I don't know what event they're going to have anytime soon that's going to hit that size where we're going to have to worry about buffering issues again.
I want to see Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Because then you want to see both of them lose.
Is Jake Paul married?
Jake Paul?
Yeah. Have Nina Agdal fight Jake Paul's girlfriend.
I don't think Jake Paul is married.
No.
Logan, I guess, beat him to it. Elizabeth Schuster, Shane H. Wilder said Netflix is showing the Christmas NFL games and Beyonce is the halftime show performer for Texans versus Ravens. Will they fix the buffering problems?
That could legitimately be an issue.
Tell me why Mike Tyson was wearing assless chaps. Like, please tell me why he did that.
I don't know. So I saw the most deranged of people online saying it was a humiliation ritual.
What?
Yeah.
Do you think they're right?
No,
Could they be right?
I think
why would he do that though?
I don't think they were supposed to film him from the waist down. That's what I
Okay, if he wasn't supposed to be filmed from the waist down, then why would he wear that anyway? If he didn't expect anyone to see it.
Maybe he was just establishing dominance. He's like, yeah, go ahead, do it, film it.
He was just doing that to like mog Jake Paul with his ass.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it worked.
I mean, that was just his jockstrap, right? Like
what?
He was just his jockstrap before he put on the shorts, the boxing shorts.
I thought he was actually wearing assless chaps.
No.
Like as a style choice.
I do like the idea that he just doesn't care. He's just old and doesn't care.
He definitely is old and doesn't care. We know that from his interview recently. Norville Rising said, just wanted to say Brett sounds like his voice came straight out of a 90s Capri Sun commercial.
I don't know what that means, but
Is that a compliment?
If you had said Brett's voice sounds like it came out of a 90s Surge commercial, I would have been more, excited, but I'll take what I can get.
Stefan Buttle said, if I ask you to put a mocha on, would your answer to that question be the same as the answer to this one? It's a riddle.
I don't know what the answer is, but you're not getting mocha.
Okay.
So.
Pete Donovan said, Taco Bells have been some of the most notoriously located restaurants. Every time I see one in a new location, I find it hard to believe it exists.
Like, why? Do they just pick weird places to
I
put
never
them?
noticed that. I always had Taco Bell pretty close to where I live.
I had one in my town. I had one in both my... Actually, no. Okay, so... What I'm trying to think, like when in where I was from in Woodbury, we had one. My mom lived in Oakdale. We had a Taco John's, which I found superior, anyways.
Taco John's?
Yes. Yep.
The fuck is that?
Yep. You're missing out.
You're
Potato
like from
olays.
a different country.
Potato olays.
V Wit said, so next up, child mutilation crisis party.
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's go.
I did see people giving you crap online because of your Taco Bell tweet about RFK.
They were. I said RFK is going to have to pry Taco Bell out of my cold, dead hands.
And then people
I meant
were like,
every word. I meant every word of what I said. I will not take it back. I love Taco Bell. I will not apologize for loving Taco Bell. So suck on that. RFK needs to stay away from Taco Bell.
And people were like,
come and take it.
And people were very upset. They're like, you should.
They're mad
better.
at me for liking fast food. Leave me alone. I'm skinny.
People want to.
It's about moderation.
You know what it is?
Heard of
Mary?
it?
They're not. It's not just about abortion. They're like, your body, my choice.
No, they're trying to control women's bodies and the Taco Bell that goes into them. And I don't take kindly to that behavior. Seriously.
There's a 20 there from Jose Quintana.
Before I scoot out the door, I did have the special popcorn they have for the Wicked movie. Not bad. Does the Ghost Empress plan on seeing the Netflix movie Mary? I think it plays on Christmas Day. Long live PCC.
We could review it when we come back from break.
Sounds interesting. Yeah, I think I would give it a chance. It sounds promising, and the director is Catholic, so that makes sense. All right. That's Danzatastic said, doesn't Robert Downey Jr. also look like that?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's
what?
put a little bit of weight back on, like skinny and unhealthy looking.
Oh, I thought he got normal looking again.
He looks a little
for
bit
Dr.
more.
Doom.
He looks a little bit more normal now, you know.
Yeah, but he is vegan. So, Corey Anderson said maybe this is the way SpongeBob likes her.
Ethan Slater.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's his preference. I don't know. Kind of weirdo. V Wit said health advice for Brett: put a mocha on.
Never. Just no. Just not.
That would be bad for your health.
It would.
Andros the Warrior High Alpha said, yeah, I didn't bother of watching that fake fight. It was definitely rigged. Even the script was leaked online, so never trust both Paul Bros.
I think the script was leaked online to make people ask that exact question to help drum up interest in the fight.
That's just something that someone wrote and like made up. It's not really proof that Netflix rigged it, sadly. Corey Anderson said, I love commenting on the appearance of women. No fats, no five heads, no flat butts, no blue hair, no clubfoot, no alopecia, no Jada Pinkett. I guess it just cut off there.
Okay.
Jada Pinkett. Shane H. Wilder said Karen Carpenter died at 32 of emetine. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Emetine cardiotoxicity due to or as a consequence of anorexia nervosa and abuse of
Ipecac.
Ipecac?
Yeah,
what is that?
Take it
she
and then it
weighed
makes you
less
throw
than
up.
90 pounds.
You take it and then it makes you throw up.
Okay. Didn't know that. I never heard of this person before.
The Carpenters.
Pete Donovan said, Mary, there is a rumored Polar Express follow-up in the works.
Ugh!
I don't care much for the original, but if they make a live-action film with the real-life, what is this, 1225 steam locomotive, I would go see it. They're not going to do that.
So
really?
the Polar Express 2 Electric Boogaloo. The Polaring.
I don't want them to do that.
The Expressening.
Is it just me, or like all of the kid actors these days are really annoying?
I don't know.
And the kid actors from before weren't.
It's because of social media.
You know? Like Macaulay Culkin and the Shirley Temples and all of them. They were really like cute and charming, and now they're all...
because the studios rigidly controlled their public appearance.
Facts.
Guys, my new favorite Instagram trend is Home Alone brain rot, which is all sorts of weird brain rot around Macaulay Culkin as Kevin talking about wanting to go to Diddy parties, and then they're talking about something about knee surgery. I don't know what that is.
Frankly, I don't either. So.
I don't know what that is.
I can't help either.
I'm too old to the brain rot the brain rot language evolves so quickly that I don't know where it comes from. They're not even mentioning Kai Cenat in any of these, so they've evolved so quickly.
They're evolving, yeah. We don't know what they're doing now. V-Wit said Brett only eats chicken nugs shaped the dinosaurs.
It's not even true. I don't even like chicken nuggets.
Yeah, that's not one of your things. You refuse to even eat McNuggets, which is insane.
No chicken McNuggets.
Thank you. V-Wit said white roots. Malik? I don't know what that means. Shane H. Wilder said no one even knew she was the blue fairy in Pinocchio because no one watched that shit. Not even Tom Hanks could save that trash.
I don't know anyone that saw that movie.
Yeah, that really flopped. I forgot about it too. Pete Donovan said you will live in the pod and watch the PCC.
This is true.
It kind of sounded like Anna Delvey. No Control said let's change the national anthem to YMCA and make the Trump dance the Cross Your Heart. I don't know if I can get on board with that.
It's a lot of royalties.
It is. You know what that song is about, right? It's kind of sussy. Holly Movie Star said the Philippines begin celebrating Christmas in September.
It's another reminder to go watch the show Almost Paradise with Christian Kane. You should go watch it.
Samir Navarre said people who talk about being nice often have skeletons in their closet like Ellen.
I guess that's the point, right? It's like if you're talking about it too much, it seems suspect. But to me, it's not like, I don't even think you have to have anything in your closet. I think it's just disingenuous. It's just fake. Like, I could be on here and give you all sorts of fake hot takes on things because it's what people want to hear, but I'm just not capable of it. I can give you my lukewarm takes and that's about it. And if that's too bad and that's not something you want, too bad. I can't do anything else. Same should be true for people who have to be toxically positive all the time. It's also probably an effect of more women in government, if I'm being completely honest. If a city is like mandating that they're putting out kindness billboards all over their town, I'm guessing it's not a bunch of men doing that. It's probably a bunch of women in city council. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like the type of toxic, fake positivity that comes from women. Sorry.
You're right. They will hate you for saying it. V-Wit said Mary's chaotic neutral. She just wants to watch the world burn. Brett's neutral good, do no harm, but don't push your views on theirs, heel face. I do not want to watch the world burn. Actually, Brett's the one who wants to watch the world burn because he's not doing anything to stop it.
Oh, darn.
I want everyone to be happy and live flourishing lives. I just say it in a mean way. Nate said, you two are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
But if you want, I'm sure I can leave a heated voicemail calling out your bad takes. Yeah, go ahead. That would make things entertaining.
Maybe that's the other part about it is like we're kind of this job means that you're exposed to people's very, very negative opinions of your opinions all the time. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's better than people just being like, oh my God, that was so
keeps
great.
You humble.
Yeah. I actually wrote out a tweet and then just didn't say it. It was like, well, mine was more a critique of self. It's like strong inclination to critique yourself harshly prevents ego. Just in the same way that letting other people voice their opinions of you, prevents you from developing an ego. Because when you do this job, I was looking back at like our releases and it's like looking at the last week of videos, and if you took the time to go through and read 200 comments on every video of everyone critiquing what you have to say, you'd lose your mind, right? So just accept that people are going to have their opinions on what you have to say and move on with your life. You don't have to be toxically positive, but you also don't have to give face or time to people who tell you that you're wrong. They're allowed to have their opinions, and that's fine.
Pete Donovan said, Brett, to quote the Charlie Brown 1992 Christmas special, it's not even Thanksgiving yet. I say let November be November while it lasts, people.
Well, you can't do that because Thanksgiving is a problematic holiday and stolen land and and all that.
Voltage 75 said Mary is definitely a heel. Remember the ire she drew after her infamous Oliver Anthony take last year?
Yep, Mary's not afraid to share her opinions whether you like them or not.
Facts.
That guy left music too, so.
He gave up like 3 weeks ago. And we were like, should we talk about it? And we're like, nah. Shane H. Wilder said Brett is chaotic neutral. He's always saying people can do whatever they want in their own homes. Mary is lawful neutral. I agree.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to eat poop in your own home.
That was our joke because it's like, no, you should.
It became an inside joke.
It became an inside joke because I was like, the idea that I would be like, yeah, that's a good trait for a government official to have is absolute insanity. But my point being that, look, you're going to be alive, hopefully a long time. And the less time you spend emotionally like laboring over the stupidity and the bad decisions of others, the longer you'll probably live. So marrying that idea with doing this for a living makes life very difficult sometimes.
I feel great.
You're young, though.
Fantastic.
You're a lot younger than me though. So.
Dr. Larsenna said Mary cusses too much to be lawful good, but lawful evil. Really, Brett? She's not nearly self-aggrandizing enough. Maybe I should amp it up. Maybe that's proof that I need to change my game. I don't think I cuss that much. I'm pretty self-disciplined on the show at least, but off air.
I feel like it comes out more from me than you.
Off air, I curse a lot.
Like a sailor.
Like a sailor, yes. Tacti Platty said, Mary, you're not missing out on Taco John's. Okay.
Wrong.
I can sleep peacefully now.
Wrong.
Pop Culture Junkie said the Netflix buffering issue may not be fixable even with a ton of money. The technical limitation is why the Super Bowl will never be a pay-per-view stream.
Possible.
Ohm the Poet said, LOL, I love Mary, real AF. As a fellow skinny, I feel you, Mary. I'm hoping RFK will just get the seed oils out of fast food and then we all win. Well, look, that would be nice and all, but that's going to make it so much more damn expensive than fast food already is. And I'm just going to be real with you. I don't want to pay $12 for a Taco Bell Crunchwrap, so I say leave it alone.
Me consuming twice the seed oils to make sure some crunchy doesn't make a difference.
Seriously, like we are making moves in silence.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want him to be messing with any of it. Shane H. Wilder said Mary is out December 6th, the Feast of St. Nicholas.
Okay.
What does that mean? Oh, I thought you were talking about me, not the movie. Yeah. Shane H. Wilder saw a brain rot on Insta this weekend that turned the Polar Express into the Diddy Express. I'm is stupider now. That's awful.
I saw that one too.
V Wit said, is Brett nice, Mary? Brett, blink twice if you ...
I'm nice. I would like to think that I'm nice. Mary's not going to answer.
No, Brett is nice. I'm not nice. That's the difference between us. Nate said, if I leave a voicemail and y'all respond with I don't remember, I'm straight up unsubbing. We can't control it. It's like as soon as we end the show every day, it's just delete.
Bro, I did a lot of drugs in my day. I did a lot of drugs.
Look, I didn't, but we both forget what we talked about legitimately like seconds after ending the stream. So
it's my fault, man. Don't blame her. It's my fault. It's just it's gone.
DCNC said, Mary, your Aussie accent is almost as good as Brett's Mickey Mouse. They're both legit. I only did that when we were reviewing Rings of Power. It's been like 2 years. I mean, I'm glad you liked it and all, but wow. Yummy Rider 28 said, let's hear Mary's take on Linkin Park's new album. I haven't listened to it.
What a band does in the privacy of its own recording studio is nobody's business but theirs.
Should I give it a chance? Oh, I missed this $20 from Elizabeth Schuster. I'm sorry about that. She said, Brett's right, though. Taco John's is probably the best. I always get the chicken grilled burrito, and my 3-year-old niece is obsessed with the potato... Olays? She's always stealing them from me. I'm her favorite auntie.
I love Taco John's. It's good. Just get 3 hard shell tacos.
Is this just a Midwest thing?
So it was.
I've also never seen a Culver's.
Culver's is so good too. When we were so I had to go home several times this year and visit my dad. And the first 2 or 3 times, right, we flew directly into to Minneapolis, to the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport. And then the last one, we flew into Chicago and then drove to Minnesota. And it was a lot cheaper. And we passed a Taco John's on the way. I'm like, pull over! Pulled over.
Swerved.
Yeah,
in
swerved
traffic.
and then got Taco John's. It was delicious. It was amazing.
Gordon Shumway said it's not Christmas season until you see Hans Gruber falling from the
Nakatomi Building.
Nakatomi Building. What?
Yep. It's Die Hard.
I guess I wasn't paying that much attention when I watched Die Hard.
Nakatomi Plaza.
Last year.
Yep.
Can't think of a name. Said I worked on the Disney Pinocchio movie, LMAO.
Ah! What did
Give
you
us
think
the
of
inside
it?
scoop.
I would like to know. What did you think of the movie?
Was Cynthia Erivo a bitch? Shane H. Wilder said, why does Taco John's sound like a Mexican brothel?
Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, Again, what goes on in the privacy of your own Mexican brothel is nobody's business but your own.
V. Witt said, I could see Many as a
Mary
as a paladin and Brett as a rogue.
Maybe we should. You know who I'd still like to have on the show one day is Aiden Paladin.
Yeah,
I would love to.
I'm sure it'll happen eventually. Hiroshima Otaru said too much snooty elitism around fast food. Completely agree.
Yeah,
I am never going to be better than a sausage McMuffin. I am never going to be better than a McGriddle. I am never going to be better than a Crunch Wrap. I am too good for Olive Garden. I am not too good for a McGriddle.
I fully admit that mine has nothing to do with elitism and everything to do with a lack of self-discipline, and I just like fast food. But I'll wrap it in the veil of, I'm anti-elitism. I'm anti-crunchy.
Me too. I'm gonna read this in the annoying voice. High Voltage 75 said, "It doesn't cost you anything to be nice, Mary."
The flaw in that argument is that it doesn't cost you anything to be mean either.
And I enjoy it. Nate said, "I had a rough weekend. You guys killed it today. Thank you."
Thank you, Nate. And then there's one more.
You're
20
welcome,
there.
I guess. The Manic Mustache said, "Late as usual, but apropos to firm stall buns." As someone who time traveled as a result of a simple Tyson slap, as a former D1 athlete, the script was don't get hit in the face until Mike remembers how old he is. Stay toxic.
Did you see the clip of? There was a couple of clips of Logan getting. He got, and then it looked like it jabbed him awake.
You mean Jake, right?
What'd I say?
He said Logan.
Jake. And it looks like he got, and then he's like, holy crap, this guy's still stronger than I thought he was. All right.
No, this guy's got hands.
All right, guys, we are almost at a seventh crisis party. Holy crap. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here yet already? If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you will subscribe, and we hope that if you have subscribed, you will share the videos out with your friends and your family and your loved ones and the people you like, the people you hate. Everyone, share the videos. It's the best way to help this channel grow.
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
There's 2 more there.
I think we have a 20.
Yep.
What is this one?
From Can't
Think of a Name.
Yep.
My lead gaslight me into believing it was a better remake than the other before. I knew the Blue Fairy casting would cause trouble. The wings were a mess to deal with. I met Zemeckis, though.
That's cool.
That's nice.
I wonder how. You met Robert Zemeckis. That's a big deal.
What were you doing on set? Can you
Sounds
tell
like
us?
they were probably working in animation. That's cool.
Hiroshima Otaru said, "It costs me some dignity to be nice." I think it's more important to be kind than to be nice. Nice is about, going with the flow, keeping the peace.
I say you should be ambivalent as often as possible.
You
will live so much longer if you learn a healthy level of ambivalence to all of the awfulness.
VWit said last, but you're not last. No Control said it doesn't cost anything to smash the like button.
But it doesn't cost
That
anything
is
to
true.
not smash the like button either. Plus, we don't smash the like button here. We gently tap the like button.
Respectfully. Ohm the Poet said, "I'm back on the dark side. Sausage biscuits are OP."
Overpowered.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm still a McGriddle girly. Yeah.
You need a shirt that says that.
I can't because I'll get a lawsuit, but seriously, McGriddles are a superfood. The Last of My Kind said, "If you used Wi-Fi Netflix, you were second priority to people who had Ethernet direct connection. We tested both during the fight."
Yeah, also when it worked for me was when I was on my phone, but not on TV.
DCNC said, "Be kind, always rewind the VHS."
Mary will never understand that because Mary did not live through the VHS era.
Born in the 21st century here. VWit said, "F you, No Control." Last!
In the 21st century.
I think you win.
All right. Did you do your outro? I'm not sure if you did your
did.
outro. Okay. All right, guys. If you would like to follow me, I am on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you would prefer to listen rather than watch this show. If you go on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, you can rate and review, and that helps the show greatly. 5 stars only, please. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at popculturecrisis, except we're not on TikTok. We were banned on TikTok. And on Instagram at popculturecrisispod. Mary, there's one more
from Shane H. Wilder. It doesn't cost anything to do the Trump dance during the crisis party. You hear that, Brett?
Well, that's
It's
funny because
time.
it's right now.
You're going to do it, right?
Nope.
Wow. Not even for $5. Thank you.
Okay. And there's a couple more there.
Oh. Okay, Waffle Sensei said, give me gordita crunches with the nacho cheese shells or give me death.
I mean, give me gordita crunch or give me death has a good ring to it.
It's your right. Yeah. Nate said, hurry, go, last. Okay, now we have another from High Voltage 75. Jake Paul stole Randy Orton's legend killer gimmick?
Yeah, kind of. A little bit. Just a little bit. All right.
Know.
With that being said, guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see y'all then.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.